And welcome back to Central Valley Talk. We're talking to artists today, authors, artists, musicians, people who are creative. And we search the world over till we find somebody we think is worthy of coming on our little internet show here. And we found our old friend, Nathen Hache.
How you doing, Mike?
Close? Did I get it close?
We'll go with it.
We'll go with it.
I like it.
And we found you. We pulled you all the way out of Palm Springs.
You sure did. It's a little cooler over here, just a little
Now,
bit.
if you're watching, we're 6 or 7 feet apart, so we're trying to be careful here, not me not give it to him not give it to me. So we're distanced, that's what we're saying. Now, Nathen from Palm Springs, he was looking for a place to cool down, so he came to Fresno, where it's only 108.
The margaritas are a little cooler here.
Yeah, but it is hot down there, too, huh?
It is. It is.
Now, you're an author.
Yes.
What's the name of your book?
I have 3.
Okay.
The Come Up, it just came out. The ebook is starting to be formatted, and I just submitted the audio book. I listened to it last night. It sounded great.
Good.
So I submitted it for approval last night.
Now, before we go too far, where can people find you? What's your web address and Instagram?
Website is www.nathenhache.com on the screen there. Instagram is Nathen Hache. Have a Facebook as well. And same thing, Nathen Hache. And that's how people can find me.
Good. And if you're watching, don't worry, we're going to repeat that 100 times between now and the end of the segment here. So you have a book.
Yes.
Are they all a series or kind of a general subject?
The very first book I did was Additional Ways to Earn More They Don't Teach. It was just something that I wanted to write as a way of, well, what other ways and avenues can people increase their income, whether it's invest in this or do this, or what kind of avenues that we may not know of that you can do to earn money.
But you could know them if they get your book.
Yes, I researched everything in
Nice.
that book. I put 27 tips in there.
Nice.
The second book, How to Find You, it's a book of we were all born with a natural God-given gift with purpose, and we just have this innate gift of some things you do way better than I do, and that's just naturally to you, and vice versa to me, as well as...
You need to find that.
Exactly, and when you find that, it gives your life meaning, purpose, and and when you do your natural God-given gift, it generates money for you that way too. Okay. And The Come Up, which is my most recent book,
which we see behind us
which
here.
is right there.
Yeah.
That's a book about my life, about a memoir, just from 2002 up until now, the ups and downs, the struggles, how I overcame that with, graduating college, not knowing who I am, a bad marriage I was in, and how I came out of that, and just in the tribulations and trials with that led me on my road to my come up. And that's the story with that right there.
Will it touch on the other 2 books, like the finances or finding who you are?
The Come Up won't touch on finances. The Come Up does touch on how to find you, because how to find you breaks down to how I found me and how you can find you. The Come Up is a lot more detailed and involved, and a little bit more of it's my narrative. It's my story.
The second book is the one that's fascinated me the most.
How to Find You?
How to Find You, because first thing you know is you have to figure out is that there is a you
that
you need to find.
Of course.
So a lot of people don't even know. They're just out getting a job here, getting a job there. They have no idea they even need to find that they have a little skill and talent.
Right.
The second thing I've noticed in life is some people are so good at their natural thing that it doesn't seem special to them. That's just like getting up and breathing or something like that.
Oh, so I got an answer for you on there.
All right.
In the book of Matthew, chapter 14, verse 15 through 28, I believe, it talks about expanding on your talent. So we all have a gift that we do well. We're all born. We know that gift. We expand on that gift. So let's say, for example, like myself, I'm a writer. So how do I expand on that gift? Instead of just writing books, well, expand on that and do an audiobook. Okay, now that you did an audiobook, what's next? How about newsletters? What's next? Okay, well, I got to do an LLC. So then my next book, which is a kid's book, like a young teen's book, I'm starting my own publishing company and doing it that way. So it's expanding on your talent, giving your life more purpose and more goals to aspire to be. So whether it's writing, or let's say you're a cook, you're a chef, okay, what about writing a cookbook or finding someone to illustrate a cookbook? What about doing a YouTube channel? Or I don't know if anyone knows of TikTok.
Oh, yeah.
There's a lot of, I see a nod over there. There's chefs that do TikToks, and their food looks really good. And I forgot what this one brother's name is. chef, and he always has an intro where he looks at the camera and says, "You hungry? Let's make a snack." And he always makes some interesting chicken wings, mac and cheese, what's creative about those videos are it has to be 60 seconds or less, and that's it.
Okay.
And that's ways of expanding on your talents. So videos, cookbooks, tutorials, doing a class, and then whatnot, or even expanding on your recipe repertoire.
So take what you're good at
And keep build on that.
Well, the question I had that I was alluding to earlier, I myself, for example, studied music my entire life. Was able to make a living at it, but it was always a struggle.
Right.
My kids come along, and they're just naturals. But they don't realize they have a gift. It's just, like I said, like breathing.
Right.
So, they're not, especially out there excelling in that, they're, becoming something else. And some people, I think, maybe it comes so easy to them that they don't know it's a gift that they could actually latch onto and go somewhere.
Oh, that's what you get to, what you do best with the least amount of effort.
Right. But they need to maybe read your second book to kind of tune into that.
Expand on that. So if music's one thing, what about doing, what are those people that do music for movies where they add their own cinema to it, or even YouTube or editing room, or there's creative ways.
A lot of places to go.
Yeah.
It sounds like they need to read all three books. It sounds like the first two ought to be in every single college course there is.
That'll be great.
Not the whole course, but hey, this is on your reading list. You must read this.
And a fraction of the textbook cost too.
I know, that's right. And then the third is kind of how you lived up to now, and maybe applied some of these principles.
Exactly, applied the principles, and then also, how I came about with a mentor, and just there's lessons with my life that people can take, and some people have it better, some have it worse. What just makes it unique, it's my story, it's my come up.
Yeah.
And it can resonate with some people. There's a couple early reviews that came up from book reviewers, and they all said that once they read it, they couldn't put it down. And about how to find you, a lot of folks who've read it, their only complaints about it is, I loved it, I just wish there was more book. Don't get me wrong, it's it's concise, it's straight to the point. I just wanted more.
Yeah.
Well, with the come up, I gave you more. So it's 5 times the book of how to find it.
The come up is the third.
Yeah.
Now, as you look around, you can see I have a lot of books. I have thousands, every corner, every shelf. And we just got rid of hundreds and hundreds of books. So I read a lot. But now at my age, I can't read so well because I can't see so well. So I've switched.
There's audiobooks.
I've switched to audiobooks. That's where I was going with that. So you did an audiobook.
Yes.
I listen to get through so many more books right now with the audiobooks.
I love audio.
All day long I'm listening, and driving in the car I'm listening. So did you use your own voice?
No, I use a narrator. Thought about using my own voice, but part of what I like to do is I like to leverage my time where this is working while I'm doing this over here.
Yeah.
So to do an audiobook, there's equipment, then you have to have a soundproof, and my kids are not going to be respectful of that. And the voice I use, or the narrator used, James Olivas, I just felt he did a way better job than I could have done.
It's the same thing, finding what you're good at and doing that.
And he's an actor, and usually for any authors who's listening, if you go with a narrator and they have an acting background, those are probably the ones you want to go with, because they know when to enunciate and when to act out the words.
And some a little exciting.
Exactly.
That's good.
And so while he's narrating that, I can work on the next book.
Do your next project, right. Find what you're good at, or find out what you enjoy, too.
Exactly.
And stick with that. But find what you enjoy to do, and figure out how to make your living doing it. I've done that my whole life. I spent 15 years as a classical guitarist.
Oh, no.
What a blast I had.
That sounds like fun.
It was a lot of fun. So, but like any job, it gets old and you move to the next fun job. So.
I don't know about guitars getting old. I mean, who's the owner of the Seahawks, Paul Allen, before he passed, he guitared out, didn't he?
Yeah. Good for him. Well, tell me this. Say your web address one more time.
www.nathenhache.com.
Okay, nathenhache.com. What would people find there?
They'll find my previous newsletters that I write about 3-4 times a month. My next one, which is coming out tomorrow, which is July 30th, it's titled The Meaning of Life. And I write newsletters how I deal with bad things when it happens, or how to find your purpose. Just life dealing events, backing up with scripture. I keep it short, where you can read it under 2 to 3 minutes.
Nice.
And then on my website, there's also a link on the homepage where people can tell me, this is what I want you to write next. This is what I would love to see you write about next. And then there's a contact me section with, my P.O. box or email address or inquiry box, as well as my books, and it shows what books I've written and where you can get them at.
Right. Can you order them right from your site, or they have to go?
It's hyperlinked to Amazon or Barnes & Noble or Audible. How to find you and earn more, it's exclusive with Amazon and iTunes, where with the come up, I'm going to go wide with Amazon, Kobo, and just the other platforms that sell audiobooks too.
Audiobooks, yeah, that's very nice, very nice. I'm inspired by your books, and I've only got the titles mostly.
Thank
you. I, like you, I talk to a lot of young people about getting their direction, finding what they want to do, about how if you're a little kid and you want to be a baseball player, well, you should be doing that 10 hours a day right now. You know, and I always talk about, I don't know if you read Malcolm Gladwell, Outliers. He talks about, well, you're an expert when you've spent 10,000 hours doing something. You know, so get out there and get your 10,000 hours in.
Exactly. I mean, in order to know where to go, you have to know where you've been, and we're not going to know right away what we are good at or great at or what we love, our passions are. Some just don't know it, but in order to know, you have to trial and error and learn through osmosis. And sometimes when you find that gift and you do it, it's that feeling that's undeniable, where I am perfectly okay giving up a Friday night to do this, or it's that whole new sense of purpose you have that you just can't. It's the feeling that you have when you do it.
Well, I am going to read all three.
Appreciate it.
I think I've gotten kind of where I want to be, but I will give anybody this advice: you're never done.
No.
It's great to go back and read another inspirational book.
Exactly.
27 tips on
making more, earning more, just additional tips. Yeah.
Figuring out yourself, who you are. So
even the TikTok app made some new millionaires up there.
I know. Here's something about TikTok, not to take an aside. Maybe I'm looking at it wrong or something, but I only see young, very good-looking people, and they all are really terrific dancers. So
it depends what you get. If you're a dancer, hey, dance.
But I haven't seen one where people are cooking or doing anything but these dances.
Oh, there's a lot of good ones. A friend of mine I went to high school with, his TikTok name is the Food Jedi. And I don't know the other guy's name. He has a bigger following, but he specializes in just soul food cooking. And there's interesting ways where they can give you a recipe in under a minute, and it just...
Well, obviously, I'm looking at TikTok wrong. Maybe I'm on the wrong channel or searching the wrong thing.
Oh, well,
all I see is these young kids dancing better than I'll ever dance.
Well, hey, you know, who doesn't enjoy a good show?
Yeah.
And then obviously there's some Christian preachers and ministers that give their prayers and preaches too. Or just a quick 30-second message of, I mean, there is even one TikTok thing I showed where the guy talks about, hey, how to tell she likes you. Well, what guy is not going to want to listen to that?
In under 60 seconds, I have the time.
Yeah, so. I have the time right there.
Yeah. But we're just seeing the tip of the iceberg here on this internet thing, social media and stuff like that.
Exactly.
Anything that hasn't been thought of there's a million things we haven't even thought of yet.
Well, social media is going to be a whole new set of content creators that are going to make a living or a livelihood or even extra income off of that, in addition to their day job, because California is not cheap to live in.
I know.
Yeah.
Well, we had this idea to stream video before Netflix was streaming and YouTube was barely anything, and we just got in ahead of it just accidentally, and we could do it for pennies on the dollar now than what we put into developing this technology.
Exactly.
Anyway, you guys find out about this stuff, ways to increase your income. Ways to figure out what you ought to be doing. What's your special thing? Do I have that kind of right?
Yeah.
And then sometimes it's good to hear the story of somebody who's been through all this, and Nathen has, and he's got a book coming out. Is it out yet?
It's out. It's out. So the Come Up is on Amazon. It's only available on physical.
Okay.
The ebook is being formatted.
Virtual. What do I call them? When it's not
paperback.
When it's not digital, it's analog. Analog.
So it's analog.
Analog.
Ebook is, I'm hoping within the next week or two it'll be up, and then audiobook
will be coming out.
I already submitted it last night in the hotel, and that can take anywhere between 2 to 6 weeks for them to approve it and upload it, and it's good to go.
Good. That's exciting. That's a big step.
It is.
The audiobook is a big step. One more time, give them the web address.
www.nathenhache.com.
And spell the Hache.
Hache.
It's on the screen, but some people are driving in their car listening to us these days.
Yeah, you got to think about them.
Tell you what, if you cannot find it, you didn't write it down, you want to find it, call us here at Central Valley Talk or send us an email. I'll give you Nathan's direct contact info. And then Instagram.
Instagram.com/Nathen Hache. Nathe for Echo, Nhache.
I would have spelled the Nathan wrong. So.
Well, even my own family spells it with the A-N, and I'm like, I'm going to disown you.
All right.
No, I was kidding.
I'm going to get the books. I'm going to read them. Then we're going to have you back.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Our guest has been Nathen Hache, all the way from Palm Springs, California, live instead of that video remote thing. We'll be back with more Central Valley Talk right after this.